Hello and welcome to another bite-sized marketing training. Today I want to show you the process that I use with social media posting on Facebook, just to basically keep it as consistent as possible. Before I do though, I want to recommend that if you haven't already done so, to pause this video and go watch the 80-20 rule and the Canva trainings. Both of those are basically an introduction to this one. And so this one will make more sense if you watch those two first. Next, what you're looking at is my screen. And this is a Microsoft Word document that I create as part of the process. And so a little bit of a backstory on this process that you may be familiar with is that when COVID-19 happened, now prior to COVID-19, I was at the top of my game. I felt really awesome about the social media postings. We had done a challenge. There was a lot of engagement. Things were going really well. And then boom, the COVID-19 happened. And for me personally, it sort of put me back a few steps where I was starting to feel nervous and apprehensive about posting on social media. Now, I'm sharing this story because I know some of you may feel a bit apprehensive and nervous about putting yourself out there. And I'm hoping that this process is going to shed some light and remove some of that overwhelm. So what we did was I spoke to Carol about how I was feeling. And I said, I really don't know what to post or how to post because the communication landscape online has changed drastically. And so she said, you know what, I'll take over the post for a couple of days. And then she said, when you start up again, she said, why don't you send me the posts so that I can review them and I can approve them before it goes online or before I pre-schedule them. And I thought that is a great idea. I was very, very happy that she suggested that. And even now, as I'm back on my game, feeling positive and really enjoying the process once again, just because New Brunswick has done really, really well with this COVID-19 situation. So now I'm back on my game, but I still want Carol to review these. And so I want to encourage your council to choose two people. So one person to create the posts, another one to review the posts, and either one of those can go in and pre-schedule them. Just a little bit of information. And if you're feeling a bit apprehensive like I did during COVID-19 or any time, because off and on, depending on what's happening in my life or depending what's going on in the world, you sometimes will feel a little bit nervous about posting specific things online. When you've got someone who's got your back, who's taking a look at everything and will give you honest feedback, you can't lose. All right, so let's get this party started. So now you're taking a look at my screen. This is a Microsoft Word document that I create. I like to schedule my posts a week ahead of time. Now you could choose to do yours bi-weekly, monthly. I know of some people that actually pre-schedule their posts like months in advance, like up to 3 months. I wouldn't recommend that. The reason why is for me, when I'm doing posting, I want to make sure that I have some personal feelings involved when I'm posting. I want to make sure that intuitively it feels right, whatever it is that I'm posting, that it's relative to what our audience and what our community is going to, relate to and connect with. And that said, sometimes if we pre-schedule like 2 months ahead of time, there might be something that will happen in the world, exactly something similar to like COVID. Let's hope not. But things change in the world. And it's really important to take that into consideration. So what we find works really well is pre-scheduling a week at a time. And so as I create this document, it's a Word document. I create the table. I put the date at the top from June 20th to the 26th. And I'm just going to go here and show you on our social media. This is the scheduled post, and you can see that I have one scheduled for Friday. and that's the 19th. And I'm actually going to schedule one today. Once I have the blog live, I can share the link. That's my plan for today. And I have the one for Saturday, and I'm going to show you how to pre-schedule the posts. And so, perfect. All right, let's go over here. Now, you will have seen this in one of the previous, the 80-20 rule training. And this is the digital calendar that I've created. I created this probably about 3 or 4 years ago. I've been using it ever since. You can also use Google Calendar as well. For some reason, I just prefer this type of document. It's interactive, and I'm providing you with a copy. And it's from June to December. In December, we'll make sure you get an updated one. And so what I do in this calendar is I will go in and put in all of the holidays that exists. For instance, this weekend is not a holiday, but there's Father's Day that's happening. In May, we had Mother's Day, Victoria Day, and then there's specific days that are related to literacy, like World Book Day, whatever the case. There's a whole bunch of them. International Youth Day is another one that's happening in August. New Brunswick Day. And so those are already outlined, so you don't even need to think about those. I did find a list that I sent out in our group of all of the things that are happening relating to adult literacy. And so you do have that, but I have added them all into this calendar for you. All right, so let's just go back here to June. And you'll also notice that there's these little boxes that you can actually tick off once your post is done. So at the beginning of the month, I like to plan out the whole month on what it is that I want to do, right? So I'm going to show you that in just a minute. You can copy paste information. You can type in these fields. Make sure that when you do that, though, that when you finish, that you go up to the file and file save your document. Always save it, because you will lose it if you don't. All right. And so these little tick boxes come in really handy. For instance, Thursday's post, which is today, I'm going to be posting it later. Because it's not posted, it's not ticked off yet. So I will do that once it's done, and then I'm going to go file save. So I've already pre-planned them, knowing that we have Father's Day on Saturday. There is National Indigenous Peoples Day on Sunday. Then I chose on Monday to spread joy with an uplifting quote. Tuesday, pay it forward with stats and facts. And then Wednesday, I actually didn't know what to post. I was trying to come up with something, and so I decided to use the hashtags. And I'm going to show you exactly where I got those. So that basically that's the plan. So I come in here, I make the plan, then I go over to my Word document, I paste the content in there, and then I stroll over to Canva, which is the other training I was telling you about, and I can create my posts and make them really pretty. Okay, let's go back to the calendar for just a moment. You'll also have access to this cheat sheet, and you're going to be mostly working with page number 2. And so here we have 9 different types of posts that you can choose. And like I mentioned in the previous training, you'll see these little numbers on the side. That means that 3 times per month you could do unique to you posts. 3 times per month you can be an expert. And when you choose that, you decide which one of these that you want to do within that month, just to kind of keep things interesting, keep it consistent, and really make this process of being on social media every day easier. Now, I want to also mention every strategy that I provide to you, every process that I show you, whatever it is that I teach you, I want to encourage you to take and leave whatever it is that you want. By all means, you're 100% free to use exactly the process that we use, because it does work really well. but there may be parts of it that doesn't feel right to you. And if it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Try something else. There's not 100% perfect way to do social media, and there's really no wrong way. The only wrong way not to do social media is not to do it at all. So, for instance, now I like to spread joy about 5 times per month. Some months it may be a little bit less, maybe 1 or 2 less, depending on how I'm feeling that month. Now, you may choose to spread joy 7 times. The only thing that I will stipulate, though, in order to follow that 80-20 rule, make sure that you do promo time 4 times a month, right? And when we're talking about promotion, we're talking about sharing content from your website. If you have a website, sharing, downloadable resources, and you can do those in Canva really easily. You may have, a new offering, or even reintroduce a learning offering, tutor services, whatever the case is. Find ways to bring those into your posts in different ways. You could repurpose content, celebrate milestones. People want to know what's happening within your council. We also have here Get Personal. I say about 3 times per month. If you don't feel comfortable sharing something personal for yourself right now, then don't do it. Just maybe add 2 to spread joy and 1 to pay it forward, or whatever the case is. These numbers are just to kind of give you a guide and make things easier for you. Okay, so that said, I take a look at the 9 different types of posts, and then I go back to my calendar, which, it's actually right here. And I start putting them in throughout the month, right? And so what happens when I plan on a weekly basis? It gives me the opportunity to say, you know what? Thursday, I don't necessarily feel like doing promo time. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to copy, paste that. I'm going to do that another day. Just go take it out, copy, paste it someplace else. Or you know what? I do want to do the promo, so I'm going to put it back there. And so I've done Be the Expert 3 times, Promotion Time 4 times, Spread Joy. As you can tell, I'm starting to plan for July. Spread Joy, I've put it in different places. And now that they're there, I can say, all right, on Wednesday, July 1st, I want to do Be the Expert type post. And I choose to do an answer an FAQ. I knew there was a typo there. So an answer an FAQ. And what I do is I have a list of questions. If we go to our website, here, Carol has created a frequently asked questions section. What I did was I basically printed off that document, and every time I use one of those questions in my posts, I highlight it and put a check mark next to it, just so that I know that I did that. And so as one of the exercises, and I think I'm going to talk about it at our next virtual council meeting, is we're going to create a collaborative document that has frequently asked questions, facts and stats, different information that we need, so that we have the information on our fingertips, and it just speeds up the process and makes things a lot easier and less overwhelming again. And so she created this awesome page on our website, and I'm going to be using each one of these questions and answers in a few of the posts. And so that's what I'm going to do on Wednesday the 1st. And now on Thursday, I'd like to do promo time. So I'm going to come over here to my cheat sheet. I'm going to go into the promo time. I'm going to say, shall I share something from my website? Maybe create a downloadable resource? What can I do? Or repurpose content? Celebrate a milestone? Now, this is something I would want to talk with Carol and say, what are some milestones that I could talk about in the post? Make a list of the milestones that you have had in the last, for however long your council has existed. People do want to hear about those. Team member shout out. Now we're going to be doing a lot more of that. We're going to be shouting out our councils, their tutors, their students. We're going to make sure that we're going to be doing those shout out moments, because those are posts that really do connect. Something else that can really help are doing live presentations, not necessarily with our organization, but with your councils. If you did one weekly live, man, that would be really awesome for you guys. Start with one a month and just give it a try. It's awesome. Now this last one, I state 4. I put number 4 here. You can change these numbers up however way you want, whatever way you want, and change it up just for however works best for you. But the way that I like to use the hashtag it section is for days like Wednesday when I'm not sure what to post. I'll look at Wednesday and say, well, what hashtag could I use for that day? And I've added here 2 different hashtags for each day that I really like, but you can always go on Google and just simply type in hashtag weekly hashtags, and a whole list is going to come up, and you might find some that you like even better than the ones that I've listed here. All right, so that's how I go ahead and I plan. Now, if you have any questions, please feel free to come back to me anytime. All right, so going back to this document, I put all the content in, and then I go in and to Canva and I start making them pretty. So I'm going to show you how that works. I've created the ones that I needed. I needed a nice post. So I have this quote that I'm sharing on Monday, and then the Happy Father's Day post. And then this is actually a GIF, which is really cool. And these are memes. I absolutely love the memes, and I've started creating our own. And once in a while, I'll put LLNB on there. If you LLNB.ca, I'll put our website on there. And sometimes I don't. It just, be carefree. It doesn't have to be exactly the same all the time. I like to use hashtags with my posts. So, for instance, here we're using the hashtag for Indigenous people. I believe there should be an S on that one. Over here we have, let me see. Here, adult literacy. I could actually put the hashtag here for adult literacy. I will be doing another training on hashtags so we can get really deep within the hashtags, but I think I've mentioned it in another training. Start using the hashtag with your council name right now as often as you can. And what happens is eventually people are going to start seeing more of your content because of those hashtags. Again, there's a separate training coming. We'll get more into that. But see, there's a lot of people using the adult literacy hashtag. Okay, I'm just going to show you one more thing here. HashAddit is a really cool page that you can go to. And for instance, if you want to use adult literacy, just to see how popular this hashtag is, a whole bunch of posts are going to come up. This is also another idea to gain some inspiration on what you can post. You can actually see what other people are posting, and I don't recommend that you use the exact same content. Please make sure to make it your own. Just get the inspiration. You might use 2 or 3 quotes and say, oh wow, these 3 are really cool, and then just kind of come up with your own content that way. But this site, hashaddit.com, will show you how popular the hashtags are. So there we go. Now I'm going to take you into Canva. Oops. Back over here. Here's the meme that I created. So basically a meme is just some quirky text with an image. And I found it online with quickmeme.com. I'm going to take you there right now just so that we can kind of take a look. right, that's better. So now you can see, you can actually share and use these memes from them just by clicking share. I simply just prefer creating my own. There's a search here, so you could put adult literacy. And I think it's searching adult. I think these are all. A real best friend will make your family question. Oh, no, we don't want that one. Beware of some of the things that might come up for you. Another way that I do it too is I go adult literacy memes in the search bar and click on images. And there's a whole bunch of them that come up here in the Google images. Now, the pictures are not always really great, but you can just click on them here. We pay to go to your doctor. Some of them don't make. Who says teaching is stressful? I'm 39 and I feel great. I love, this is awesome. This is a really cool one. But again, I like to take the content or just the text content and add our own pictures like I did with this one. So if I told you where the self-help section is, that would kind of defeat the purpose now, wouldn't it? And then the dog's kind of looking at you with a little crooked face. It's kind of cute. It's kind of quirky. It'll be interesting to see how people react to this, but you can find different things like that. And then again, here what I've done, if we look at the folders, I have my memes folder, which shows all the memes that I've created to date. So like I said, this is one of my favorite types of posts, and I will do it maybe 3 times per month, depending on the months. All right, so if we look over here, this is actually a GIF. And what I did was I found an image. I went into the photos and I found an image just by putting in, I think, community participation. All of these images come up. You basically click on it and then you enlarge it and you put it in the background, which is what I did over here. And then for the top part, I went over here to the elements and chose the square. Again, I stretch it just like this. And then I go over here to the transparency bar and I make it maybe 50 and then position backward, backward, backward. I'm going to remove it so that we can see the text better. Now the text, you come over here, choose the text. You can choose whichever way you want it to be laid out. And then I always put the source here to make sure that that's there, and our website, because this is a literacy fact. Again, I have a list of facts and I highlight and I put a check mark. But again, I'm really looking forward to doing this project with you guys where we're going to create this collaborative document and have all of this information that we can use. And don't worry, if you ever want to use this same fact, you're going to use your own pictures, you're going to use your own colors, you're going to put your website or your Facebook page link here, and it's your own. So that's just the way this works. All right, so once I go in and I put all of these together, I click on this little down arrow to download. Now it gives you different choices. You have PNG, JPEG, PDF standard, video, and GIF. I always choose PNG. And sometimes if I don't want to have a background, this one here doesn't work because there's already a background. But for instance, if I didn't want to use this background, I could delete it. And I could download PNG with a transparent background. And then if I put this on top of any other type of background in a document, you're not going to see the white. So anyway, I will show this in another training at some point, I'm sure. This one here, like I said, is a GIF. And so when I download it, I can either choose video. Now beta means that it's in trial mode, or in the preliminary stages of it being an option here. A GIF is just similar to a video, but you don't have to click play. It just plays on its own. And then if I download that, which I've already done, click over here, and here it is. Actually, it's going to take a little bit too long for that to happen. So you will see it on there. It just kind of, the text is in motion, which makes it a really cool type of post. All right, so now what I want to do is come over here, and I'm going to pre-schedule. Carol has actually already approved these, so I've sent these to her. She has approved them. She's requested a few little tweaks here and there. And now I'm going to go into Facebook, and I'm going to pre-schedule them. Okay, so you go into the publishing tools, and how I got to the publishing tools is simply clicking on here and then clicking on this link here, and it brings me over to the publishing tools. And make sure that you click on the scheduled post so that you're pre-scheduling. Okay, so then you're going to click on create post. I'm going to come over here. This one here is just a text one, so it's kind of easy. I'm going to copy this text, and then I'm going to come over here and paste it. And I would like to put a background on this one, so I click over here. It's actually not showing the... Isn't that interesting? So right now it's actually not showing the background options to kind of make your post stick out. So that's okay. I mean, and this is things that happen with technology. Facebook makes a lot of changes. And so what we're just going to do is we're just going to post it as a regular text like that. And you're going to want to go to schedule post. Click on this link here, click on this little calendar, and this one was for, I'm going to go back to my document to make sure, it's on Sunday, back over here, and I'm going to go over here to Sunday, and I'm going to choose for it to post around 11 a.m. You can choose whatever time. There is some talk about, posts being more relevant at specific times during the day. You will get to know your audience and your community, and you'll start getting a feel for when you want to post. For me, I just basically will choose different times throughout the day, sometimes in the afternoon, sometimes in the morning. I will, however, share with you a document of specific times just to kind of give you a bit of a guideline. But in my opinion, there really is no right or wrong way. Just choose a time where you think your community, your people will be mostly online. And so it's on the 21st, and then I'm going to schedule it. Another thing I like to do is just take a sheet of paper, and if I put the dates down, so the 20th, 21st, 22nd, up to the 26th, and then I will put a check next to 21 so that I know that it's there. Next, on Monday, I want to share this image. So I'm going to go back to the Facebook. Oops, over here. I also like to refresh the page just to make sure that the post has pre-scheduled. And now this may take a minute just because my computer is a little bit slow. there we have it. Okay, go back to the scheduled post, and there should be 3 of them there, and there is. So there we go. Awesome stuff. All right, so now I'm going to do the sharing the other one. So I'm going to create a new post, making sure that I'm in the scheduled post again. And I'm going to go over to my desktop. And just drag the picture from my desktop over here. And let me go back to this document. I didn't actually say anything, but I do like to put a little emoji or something. And I'm going to click schedule again. I'm going to click on the calendar, and this one is for the 22nd, which is Monday. Click on that, and then I'm going to choose maybe 9 a.m. because I think maybe people will kind of look at their social media before they start getting into their work. Click on schedule. This is okay. I can leave the page. Come back here. Refresh your screen. And then bear with me for a few seconds. Schedule the there, and there we have it. So now we have 4 pre-scheduled posts. I don't need to worry about these posts because not only have I created them and have them approved, I've pre-scheduled them into the system, and I can rest assured that they're going to be posted. Now, on some of the examples, I suggest maybe asking questions to your audience or to your community. And when you do that, then you may want to go in and make sure that you're reviewing the comments and commenting on them or answering the questions if you need to. But that is pretty much what I had to show you today. I hope that this gives you an idea of how our process works here at Lawback Literacy. And again, if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to touch base with me anytime. I'm here to help, and so is Carol. And that's it for today. Enjoy the rest of your day.